Hey everybody, Tin Man here. Welcome to my easy cooking channel. I was just thinking, I have more than 200 videos out there now, and I haven't baked anything, so I'm going to try baking some cornbread. So the cornbread recipe I follow is just the one on the cornbread box. It's 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of yellow cornmeal. Now the recipe calls for, on the box calls for 1/4 cup of sugar, but I like it sweeter, so I'm going with like a 1/3 cup. That's actually a little more than a 1/3 cup of sugar. I like it sweeter. 1 tablespoon of baking powder. That's what it is, baking powder, not baking soda. And also 1 teaspoon of table salt. Okay, now what I have to do is mix all that stuff up, and those are my dry ingredients, and then my wet ingredients will be an egg and a cup of, or a 1/3 cup of oil and milk. And the thing I'm going to try different today is I'm going to use buttermilk. I've never tried using buttermilk for my cornbread. So let me get my dry ingredients mixed up, and then we'll do the wet ingredients. So the way I mix this up is I just use my hand like that. And if you find little lumps of flour or baking powder or whatever, you just smush them up between your fingers. And that seems to be the easiest way. You know, when I first started years ago making cornbread, I didn't know any better. I would just put all the ingredients, the wet ingredients and the dry ingredients, all in the same bowl and just mix them up. And, you know, it turned out, but I think you get more lumps that way, more lumps of flour and stuff. I think it comes out a little smoother when you do them separately and then blend them together. Okay, this recipe calls for 1 egg slightly beaten, so I did that, and I just used my hand for that too. I use my hands a lot. And I have used another recipe that called for 2 eggs, and it comes out a little fluffier that way with 2 eggs, but I actually prefer the texture of it with 1 egg. Probably because it reminds me of the way my mom made it when I was a kid. Okay, now to that, it says 1/3 cup of vegetable oil, so I'm using canola oil for that. And then it says 1 cup of milk, so I'm going with the buttermilk here. Alright, 1 cup of buttermilk. And since I added 1/3 cup of sugar instead of 1/4 cup, I'll just go maybe about another 1/8 of a cup of milk there. Alright, now I'll mix that up and then we'll put the two together. Okay, now I'm going to pour the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients. And I'm just going to mix those up with my hand too. And when I'm done with that, we'll put that in the oven, in the toaster oven. I've never cooked cornbread in a toaster oven, but I'm going to try it today. Alright, I got my batter all mixed up nice and smooth. Got my pan all greased up with butter. And I tell you, I tasted that batter with the buttermilk in it. It's good. So I'm thinking the cornbread should be really good that way, but we'll see. Okay, it says put it into a 400-degree oven for 20 to 25 minutes. But I've never baked anything in this toaster oven, so we'll see what happens. Okay, it said cook for 20 to 25 minutes, and it's been about 23 minutes, so let's take a look here. Wow, looks pretty good. I'm gonna pull that out of there. Well, looks like the toaster oven did a nice job of cooking that cornbread. It's still really hot, but let me see if I can get a piece out of there and we'll taste it and see how it is with the buttermilk in there. Okay, this looks good and it smells good. Look at the top. See how the bottom looks. Bottom didn't burn or anything at all. It looks really good. Let me put some butter on there and we'll have a bite of that. This looks really good. I buttered this piece and I didn't butter that piece because I just wanted to show you the texture. It looks really light and fluffy. Let me have a bite of this. I like that. Sorry I can't swallow here, but I really like that. I like that buttermilk in it. I think I found a new way to cook cornbread. Extra sugar and buttermilk. I've been doing the extra sugar for quite a few years now, but I think I like it even better with buttermilk. Turned out really good in the toaster oven too. Thanks for watching, you guys, and I'll talk to you next time.